Morning all, welcome to Tel Cockerel. Apologies to start with, I have not realised that clocks have gone backwards and forwards. I was in the middle of doing something and realised that no one had come on, so I've come into the back to find Chang here waiting dutifully. Um, and obviously we've got no Ash P for the time being. She's working and the clocks have changed. So in order of to put the show back, because I'm not sure when she can come on, I've decided I'm going to jump on with Chang and do the show. And if Ash does appear whilst we're in the show, then what I'll do is I'll end up handing back over to Ash and Chang, and I'll step away because the show is A View from Asia. It's their show that they do on my channel, and I'm really grateful for it. Um, Chan, how are you? Obviously, I know is it 8:30 for you in the evening at the moment?
Currently, it's 6:30 p.m. It's 6:30 p.m., so I'm guessing it must
Oh,
be plus
seven.
7 GMT.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep,
seven.
correct,
Yeah,
7 hours. And it's been a rather strange Tuesday because I was so excited and I couldn't wait for the watch along. Let's see, now it's going to be what, 15 hours ago. I was absolutely psyched and pumped up for the watch along. I completely fell asleep after I had messaged those predictions of mine on the WhatsApp group. And when I woke up, it was like half an hour after the final whistle had gone. And when I saw the scoreline and the people who had scored, I was just shaking my head. I was just moaning and groaning to myself. I didn't know how to have to apologize to you and also to the people in the watch along for my non for my absence or my no show during the watch along. So I apologize for that. This is something that I would have to work on because again, that also has something to do with the time difference. I didn't foresee that it will actually have an effect on the kickoff times as well. But now that I am fully aware of these circumstances for the foreseeable next few weeks, I would have to make adjustments for this coming weekend's watch along against Nottingham Forest. Back to you, Senior Garcia.
yeah. I'll just say that your microphone is going. It's making, and then sometimes you're in and out. We can't hear you. Sometimes you go up and down in volume.
Let me just try and see if I can. Okay,
I can hear you
I
now. I
have,
can hear you now. Now,
okay,
now I can hear you perfectly.
okay, because the option for automatic volume adjustment was on earlier, so I've disabled that. Hopefully, this would not interfere with my internet connection, as it has known to produce lag and some intermittent connectivity issues in the past. So, fingers crossed, there will be no further internet problems for my side, and everyone can hear me just fine in the chat.
Okay, so what we'll start is by saying hello to some people. Obviously, we were late. 1 minute after we were late, you've got Lee Statham. Good morning, Lee, saying big up Ash and Chang. Hope you're well. And he's saying good morning to everybody. Stu is in a massive hello to Ash and Chang and the LTEL family. Good morning, Stu. I hope you're well, my friend. Shemtam, good morning to the always so lovely Ash and the ever so youthful looking Mr. Chang. Hope you're both doing well. Mia sent me. Yeah, so Mia's show, I don't know what time it finished today because I was out shopping. So I hope she had a good show. I did go in, put a comment in, hit a like for the stream, as you do for everybody in the Tottenham community. Um, you have Nicholas Collison. Are we starting, or did they forget about the time difference with the clocks going forward? Yeah, Nick, we did, and we explained at the start. I was surprised I couldn't see anyone on when I was out shopping, and I just thought, oh Jesus, let me get back quickly. So, Chan dutifully is saying, wishing everyone a good Wednesday the 3rd, 2024 morning, afternoon, evening, or night, you lovely viewers in the chat and on replay. Wherever you are in the world, Miss Ash could be mistaken with the timing as the clocks have gone back an hour. Chans then said, we're just about to post your very same message context here in the chat, Mr. Collison, but you beat me to it. I made the same mistake on Miss Kate's on Monday at 12 p.m. noon show as well, but managed to adjust. Um, Kuba, good morning, Kuba. Kuba speaking to Nick. Uh, you got all the artisans saying good morning. Good morning to your audio. Shem Tam. Oh no, Ash. Oh no, Ash. But Ozo looks lovely too. Taking a piss. Yeah, yeah. Colin Blackshaw. Good morning, Jose and Chan. Good morning, Colin. I hope you're well, sir. Um, and then Stu's come back in with big up to Jose and Chang. Um, Kuva is saying, I'm worried you're not fitting in with the community, my friend. You're always nice and never call people out or cause any fights. That doesn't sound very Spurs YouTube to me. Aye, aye. And Stu's telling everyone, reminding everyone to like the video and subscribe if you're new. Thank you. Um, Nothing wrong with just being in and out, Jose. To Kuva. I had a different link, Jose. You changed the link, hun. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't do it. It was all done by Colin, so I haven't got a clue what was there. I just posted what was there just now. Um, Morning, my lots from Johnny Bethnal Green. And he's saying, morning, geezers. Mia saying, I sent people your way, so hope this helped. Big up, Jose and Chang. Yeah, thank you very much, Mia. Thank you for that. So, Chang, that's saying hello to everyone in the chat for the time being. I suppose we're going to have to start with the performance from yesterday, but it's hard to ask you because you never watched the game.
This is going to sound very strange for me to have to report to you, Sino Garcia, but not only did I not watch the game, I've not seen any highlights of it as well. All I know is the full-time score. I believe it was something like Brennan Johnson who scored first within the first 5 minutes, and let me see now. I believe it was Kurt Zuma. Kurt Zuma was credited as the equalizer, or rather the West Ham player who scored the equalizer. I'm going to, because it's Kurt Zuma and because it's in the first half, I'm going to guess it's from a set piece or maybe a free kick or a corner, depending on which one comes first in that order. And because we scored first, I'm also going to say that it was maybe against the run of play. That would be my best guess, because when we score first, usually we come out on top. And the very fact that Kurt Zuma scored shows that maybe there was some defensive lapse from a set piece or a free kick or even a corner, and that's how they got the equalizer. I did see a bit of the statistics towards the end, which showed that we were actually we had more possession and we had more chances or rather more shots on goal, but we somehow rather failed to convert those chances and back all 3 points at the end of the day. Honestly, though, just for everyone's just to make it clear, if before the game, if I were offered a draw, if I were to be offered a single point away from this match even before kickoff, I would have been more than happy for it, because we have this sort of Jekyll and Hyde. We have this seesaw kind of performance. We put in a good performance at home, we might go missing away from home, or we might absolutely trounce Villa away, and then we go away to Craven Cottage, and it's the exact reverse. So before this game even kicked off, I would have been happy with a draw. Looking at the stats, looking at some of the statistics, and also I did see some of the chats, some of the shows early this morning. I'm guessing that maybe it was 2 points drop, not 1 point gain. I could be wrong. Maybe people in the chat can educate me and fill me in on what exactly transpired earlier this morning. But all I have to say after that disappointing 1-1 draw, we have to put things to right yet again this coming weekend against Nottingham Forest. Back to you, FA.
Right. So I haven't heard much of what other people have thought about the game, Chang. I did the watch along yesterday. I made my comments clear on the watch along. So for me, it was, I was surprised because West Ham didn't low block us for the whole game. I expected it to be low block from start to finish, and it wasn't. It was more open than what I thought it would be. Tottenham started off really, really well. We started off on the front foot. The passing was crisp. Um, Obviously, we got the goal really, really quickly, and it was Werner gone past his man, put the ball across the 6 yard box, and on the other at the back post, yeah, Johnson's come in and slotted the ball home. So it's what you want to see. It's your wingers playing to each other, and it was great to see. Um, Werner in the first half kept attacking his Sufal, and he had Sufal on toast in the first half. In the second half, not so much. So it seemed to be that we attacked down our left in the first half, but then switched it up to attack down our right in the second half. Um, we had obviously the possessions, the stats are quite clear. We had 13 shots to West Ham's 11. We both had 4 on target each. We had 68% of the possession to their 32. We completed 662 passes to their 302. We had an 89% passing accuracy to their 78. They committed 13 fouls. We committed 9. But from their 13 fouls, they got 1 yellow. And from our 9 fouls, we got 4 yellows. I felt the referee was harsh. I saw Madison get clattered. And even from behind and from the side, clattered at least on 3 occasions. And not one card was shown against anyone that fouled Madison. So the referee wasn't very consistent on the fouls to yellow card ratios. Um, and then offside, West Ham were offside 3 times. We were offside once. They had 9 corners to our 5. They scored a goal. Their equaliser did come from a corner. It was so what he done is Zuma stood on the back post. The ball was curled in by Bowen. So he's taken it in, he's curled it in, an in swinger if you like, and Zuma has come off the back post. As the ball's in the air, he's come off the back post and he's rushed in to the 6 yard box. And because all the other players have already been marked, he's rushed in, he's on his own, he had a free header. He got a free header. It's a free header. I think it even came off his head onto his shoulder into the goal, but he was clear. But then the horse had bolted because that they scored that goal from their very first corner, and then after that, to be fair, every other corner that they had and free kick, we defended really well. We got heads to it first. I can remember a doggy getting his head to at least 3 of them. Um, Porro got his head to one. Sarr got his head to one. I think Romero, I saw him get his head to one as well. So but the horse had bolted by then. They'd already scored their goal from a set piece, as you say. People were saying before the game that set pieces might be an issue. And yeah, they got their one and only goal from a set piece. Other than that, the game was played mostly in West Ham's half. And it was all intricate passing and that. The one thing I did notice in the second half is I didn't see the horseshoe. When we do the rondo horseshoe, where you've got the low block and they just pass the ball around in a horseshoe shape. Well, we actually didn't do that yesterday. What ended up happening is that when we had the ball and we were right on top of them, so we were in the last third of the pitch. Even Mickey van der Ven and Romero are in the last third of the pitch. So all our players, apart from Vicario, are in the last third of the West Ham pitch. What I ended up doing is we were looking to play balls in between the lines. So what you had is Werner stayed out wide, Johnson stayed out wide, but then you had Udogi and Porro inverting in and going inside. So we were trying to thread balls through to them as well. I felt though towards the end of the second half, we were attacking a lot down the right, and I felt that there were some occasions where the ball we'd fashioned where the ball had gone wide to Johnson, and instead of whipping it across in, even though we were outnumbered because there was loads of West Ham players in the box, instead of whipping the cross in, we just passed it back and started the process all over again. And I felt that we could have done a bit, we could have crossed a bit more and taken a chance. I thought for myself, I thought Basuma had a decent game. Didn't give the ball away much at all. Found his passes, moved around the pitch. Thought he did well. I thought Bentancur did well. Wasn't wasteful or anything like that. Madison played in the last third of the pitch. He didn't drop into our half to pick the ball up like he did on Saturday. Mickey van der Ven, it goes without saying, he makes a real difference when he is in the side defending. Um, Bowen ran at him and tried to get past him and didn't succeed. I think he tried it twice, and then after that, I think he just gave up. He just knew that he weren't going to get past Van der Ven. Kudos tried it with him as well, didn't come off, didn't bother again. I think Antonio tried it once, didn't come off, didn't bother doing it again. It makes such a difference having Van der Ven there. Vicario, I thought Vicario was sound. Vicario came out, he punched corners as well when he came out. He made some good saves as well. Some would say for the camera, but yeah, I mean, because he only had four on target, but the saves that he did make looked like they were camera saves. One for the album. Um, yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. You're probably right, Chang. It's probably a game that we should have got 3 points in. But for me, we've got to take the rough with the smooth because we hear people say, but we start so slowly. We start so slowly. Why are we a second half team? You know, um, we look like the home team yesterday. If that makes any sense, we look like the home team yesterday. Um, Substitutions were made with people that I think that were tiring. If you want, so he made some substitutions, and then right at the very end, in the 89th minute, Johnson took a whack and got injured, and then had to come off and was substituted. He was limping a little bit, and he had to come off. And Gio was brought in on the 89th minute, and there was a load of people in my chat saying, "Why have they left it so late to bring Gio on?" It's because Johnson was injured. He must have been happy with that what they were doing, and it's because Johnson got injured. I mean, they brought Madison off and they put Kulu into the 10 role. Um, I didn't think Kulu did anything electrifying when he came on and he was in the 10 role. Um, but yeah, it was a comfortable game. At times, I felt Tottenham were on the training pitch because they were just doing what they were doing the drills that they do on the training pitch, the way they were passing the ball around to each other and stuff like that. But to me, at the end of the day, Chang, what I'm going to say to you is that we didn't take an L. So we go into the Forest game without an L beside our name. We've got a W and a D, and we've got no L there. So, at the end of the day, it's points gained, not points lost in the sense that we didn't score zero, we scored one, but we could have had all three, Chang.
Okay, so I'm guessing now that we have to rely on Manchester City to do us all a very big favor later on tonight when they take on Aston Villa, and I'm sure Manchester City are going to come out all guns blazing. They definitely need all 3 points tonight against Aston Villa, seeing as how they themselves drop points the same way we did against Liverpool over the weekend. So I'm guessing maybe if they do beat Aston Villa, as per the form book, we are still firmly in control of finishing in the top four because we still have the game advantage, and also if they were to lose by I'm guessing 2 goals or more, that means the goal difference will be to our advantage as well. But again, all this is still very theoretical because games are not played on paper. So I'm sure a lot of us Spurs fans will be City fans tonight, hoping for Aston Villa to drop points. And on a side note, if Luton Town can pull off the impossible and get one over Woolwich at the Emirates, there will be a sweet end to the midweek festivities for us.
So, to be honest, I'm going to be, in my opinion, Chang, I'm not looking at top four. Um, all I'm looking for is for us to play well including yesterday and including Saturday. I just wanted us to go for all 10 games. I want us to win all 10 games. I'm not looking for anything other than a victory in each game. We've got the victory on Saturday. We got a draw yesterday away from home. Could have had the victory, but we got a draw. To me, I think we will end up, Chang, wherever we end up is wherever we deserve to be by the 38th game is where we deserve to be. I just want to get us to go out and play football and to try and win every single game. Whatever will be at the end of the day. Whether we finish fourth, fifth, sixth, third, second, first, it doesn't really matter to me. Well, it matters to me if we win the league, but we do what we've got to do ourselves and get as many points as we can ourselves. Obviously, we're going to affect what happens for the teams above us because we're yet to play three of them. So at the end of the day, we will be wherever we'll be. I just want to see us play football, and it's interesting because we played some lovely football yesterday, and we really did. We played some lovely football, but the finishing wasn't there yesterday. So what you want is you want to convert. You want a bit of everything. You want the fast start, you want the good football, and you want the finishing. If you get that, then invariably you're going to win more games than what you're going to lose, and you score more goals than goals that you'll let in. So, I mean, I can't remember of anything clear out that they had with the defenders with the defense. I can't, see any clear cut. They really ripped us open kind of stuff yesterday. So that's kudos. The team played well, but I think also with having Mickey van der Ven in the team, I think everybody is far more calm and far more trusting in the team when Mickey van der Ven's there. Um, but yeah, so yeah, we at the end of the day, that's what I got to say. Can I just say we have uh, well, it was this Chang saying. I want to see what Chang says. Chang. So you got Lily White, Robbie from Lily White Lane saying good morning to everyone in the chat and good morning to you and me, Chang. Um, I love this. What did you say? I was so pumped up and fired up for a 3:15 a.m. Wednesday morning match and watch along. Sadly, fell asleep before 1 a.m. and woke up half an hour after the final whistle. Did you go to work this morning as well, Chang? Yeah. So you've
Yes,
woken
I
up.
did.
The
Samuel
final.
Garcia, I went
You,
to work.
you've woken up. The final whistle's gone, and then you've got to. Did you go back to sleep before you went to work?
No,
Yeah. Okay.
went straight to
No.
work.
You went straight to work at 4 in the morning. Oh my god!
Yep,
Oh,
went straight to work.
you're absolutely mad. Um, and then you've got audio artisan saying too much ticky tack around the box. Audio, I understand that, but sometimes we say that we can't find our players. Sometimes we say that we're awful in doing certain things. All of a sudden, we start playing like Barcelona with the ball, and we're all complaining about it. But yeah, I do understand. Look who you've got here, the lovely David Shear. Wagwan, Mr. Jose, Mr. Coover, and Mr. Chang. Mr. Shear, good day. He says, good day, Cobbers and
Good day to you,
Quebecs.
Kobashia. Good day to you.
Yeah, nice to see you. Yes, it is, David. Very, very nice to see you. Um, Mira is saying hello to David as well. And we've got Wally World. Wally World saying, good day, all. Spurs are very entertaining to watch and very pacey. Um, Ellie's saying, I watched the start first and I've caught up now, hence my Sleeping Beauty pun for Chang. Okay, so you've just watched it. Um, and then you've got also Jordan Hyman, LFC. Hey, Jose and Chang. Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon to you, Jordan. I think it might be your afternoon to early evening. I'm not sure. You might correct me on that. But nice to see you all here. Nice to see you all here. Um, So yeah, so what? Obviously, you've missed. It's really difficult because you've missed the game. So I don't know what to ask you because you've missed the game. I
How about
suppose I'm
this?
going to say to you.
How? You
I
go
suppose I'm
ahead. Go
going to
ahead
say to you,
first.
Chang.
Go ahead first.
I suppose I'm going to say to you, right? Where do we go from here? We've got Forest next on Sunday in the rearranged fixture. It's probably going to be a worse time for you, isn't it? Because it's the kickoff's at 6 o'clock in the evening, or is that a better time for you? It's better.
I
No, it's
think
better.
it could work. It could work well in my favor because if it's 6 p.m. UK time, I'm guessing that's going to be 1 a.m. 1 a.m. Sunday morning because it's
Monday,
going to be 6
Monday
p.m.
morning
Yeah.
for you. It'll
Oh,
be one
sorry.
o'clock.
So it's correct. So it's
Yeah,
6 p.m. Sunday evening in the UK. So it'll
yeah.
definitely be 1 a.m. Monday morning, but that should be completely fine as long as I'm already in the watch along, as long as I'm already in the stream once the lineups have been announced. There's absolutely no way I can not off unless something like the Fulham away happens and then and then we have uh, excuse me, we have too many heated debates and the game's not going well, and we are going to wake up with a very bad hangover on Monday with a very bad result. But seeing as how you summarized the game so well earlier, and it sounds very refreshing. It also sounds very encouraging to me anyway. Hearing how we were the more dominant team, how we looked to be the team that was playing at home rather than away against West Ham. Of those three major pointers, or rather the three sticking points that you highlighted earlier, the first being starting well, the second being able to dominate or to play good football, and the third being able to finish well. Of these 3 points, I would rather go for the finishing than the good start or the early start, and also the dominant football. Goals win games, put it this way. And maybe there is a method to the madness that both Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte employed in their previous clubs that actually saw them win trophies very periodically everywhere they go. For me, as long as Big Ange is able to prioritize the goal scoring over anything else, I really couldn't care less if we are second half FC for the remainder nine league games to go, or if we don't score another first half goal for the rest of the season. I just want the 3 points every single game from between now to the end of the season. Yes, you did mention that you wanted us to win every single league game from yesterday night to our final league game of the season. But in order to get to that point, in order to see us get as many wins as possible, we have to learn how to win ugly, or in another way of saying, win by hook or by crook. So, with regards to that, our goal scoring, or rather our finishing in the final third, it has to be clinical. We saw we saw enough of it at home against Luton to know that the chances are coming. It's just maybe that little bit of quality or the cutting edge that's maybe the difference maker between, say, a single point at West Ham and 3 points at home against Luton. This coming Sunday against Nottingham Forest, this is going to be, I believe, just before the Newcastle United game. So we really have to get our act together here, make sure that we secure the 3 points, and try to prioritize getting results over substance, or rather over showmanship. I believe Big Ange has this in his locker. He has a way to make sure that we secure all 3 points, even if it means winning ugly. My only concern now is the run in and how fit, how healthy our players are going to be from between now and the end of the season, because we've seen players take knocks, especially those who are just coming back from injury. If Mickey Van der Ven is still feeling the ill effects of some after effects from that game against West Ham, I wouldn't mind Dragushin coming in for him. I know that it will be a risk to put Dragushin, because you put it so well that Mickey Van der Ven was very integral and very important when we played West Ham. But we have to understand that we have a lot of games coming up, and in order to sort of like uh, spread the quality over those 10 games, or rather over the last 9 games, we really have to manage, and we have to be able to rotate the players if and when some of their injuries come back and hamper their on pitch performances. Back to you, FA.
Right, so I've just seen a comment. Jordan, what time is it for you? Because I need to understand, because to get you on in the future, I need to understand what the time zones are going to be. So tell me what the time is for you now, Jordan. Um, so it's interesting. So Ellie's in the chat, and she put an earlier comment to say, I just watched the start first, and I've caught up now, hence my Sleeping Beauty pun for Chan. Ellie, does that mean that you missed the game yesterday, or do you watch the start yesterday? You missed the rest of the game, or have you re-watched it this morning? I'm trying to understand what you're saying. Um, and then she says, so I'm just going to go to her comments. And she says the big point was our lack of that killer pass, and our big chances falling to the
Yeah.
wrong player. And then she says, Vernon movement good in all other areas of the pitch, but in front of goal, he hasn't got a clue. Lead feet and static. Lead feet and static. David Shear was happy to see. Porro having a crack. Ellie, it's now midday. I've had no breakfast at all. I've just had my first cup of coffee just now, and I'm having a couple of croissants, but they're almond croissants. So I need to have something to feed me in the morning. Um, then you've got oh no, you watched the start of our show. Okay, fair enough. Um, Latest news confirms Spurs in talks over selling a stake in the club due to the investment needed. I was going to talk about this later on Talk and Ball at 4 o'clock. Yeah, Ellie, you can do if you want. Bear with me a second. Give me a second, Chang. Keep the people talking.
Okay, so now that we have secured at least 1 point away against West Ham, I'm guessing that everyone will be riled up, or you'll be, pumped up for this coming Sunday's match at home against Nottingham Forest. Before that game does take place, I would just like to ask the people in the chat, what are your score predictions for the Nottingham Forest game this coming Sunday, given how we performed and secured the draw last night against West Ham United? So, if anyone is listening to this, you can put your score predictions and even maybe your goal scorers as well in the chat, and then I'll try and read out as many as I can. And you can, of course, base your predictions and your goal scorers based on what you saw less than 15 hours earlier against West Ham United away. So, and I believe Senor Garcia is back. So, FA, I just asked the chat earlier when you were away for that few seconds what their predictions are going to be for this coming Sunday against Nottingham Forest based on our performance and also the scoreline against West Ham some 15 hours earlier.
Hello.
There she is.
We got lost in translation there. When I put the start of the show, I meant I watched your start of the show, which you caught up with. Because what I did, I missed the start of the show because I was on Mia's show.
Yeah.
I watched the start and I saw Chang saying about his lack of sleep.
Right.
Not lack of sleep, that he fell asleep, sorry.
I sent the link to the wrong one, didn't I?
Anyway, I'm here and I'm doing an Adrian in my dressing gown because it's freezing in my house and I don't want to put the heating on because I'm stingy.
Right. I've just sent the bloody link to the wrong chat. That's fine.
Don't worry, I'm here now anyway.
Yeah, I know. But I did send it in the wrong chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did you watch the game obviously yesterday?
Yeah, I watched it from the start. Yeah, I don't miss it. Nah.
Yeah,
But
sorry. You've now explained to. I didn't understand what you were saying, what you were talking about. So
just women. Men don't understand women, do they? You know what I mean by that. I think Shag might know because he's a married man as well. Yeah, but about the match, do you want me to give you an appraisal?
Yeah, go on. Yeah, tell us what you think.
I thought we started very brightly, moved the ball very well.
Mm-hmm.
Benson Core was bossing it a bit, finding his feet again. Like he wasn't shirking out of tackles as well, which I liked. Got stuck in a bit, but there's no like end product for a lot of our moves, even when we were on top. I thought Johnson was very bright as well. He played very well in that first half. Progressed the ball very well. But overall, we could have done a lot better. With the amount of possession that we had, Jose, we should have been 2 or 3 up at half time. But we weren't crafting those, those chances. There's one chance, obviously, that Werner crafted, which he done very well. But the rest of the match, he was creating space for himself, but we weren't finding him. Madders was off it. he wasn't really getting into the game as much as he should have. Basuma, I thought, I heard you say he had a better game. I don't agree.
He moved the ball yesterday, Ellie, and he wasn't getting caught in
Yeah,
possession. And he actually moved his body around as well, so he wasn't
yeah.
static. That's
I get that. I do get that, but he just wasn't effective with the ball like I know Basuma can be. He can hurt teams when he's driving with the ball, Jose, and he uses the ball a lot more efficiently going forward. He makes more progressive passes, but with that deep line defensive midfield role that he's playing, it's inhibited him. So I do feel sorry for him in a way because it doesn't. I don't think he personally likes that role. He seems disinterested to me. He looks a bit disinterested, right? But other than that, there weren't really anybody who stood out apart from Van de Ven controlling that back. And Romero was pretty good, but his passing of the ball was too slow. You know, he should have been snappy, quick. No, Romero was holding on to it too long. So I was a bit frustrated. But in the second half, he done a lot better. Yeah, but it was a bit of a stalemate game in terms of the amount of ball we had compared to the amount of ball. But they created chances, didn't they? So out of all the little ball possession they had, they really did create some chances. And we were giving away too many blimmin' corners. I thought we were going to get punished more, but we handled that corner situation very well, apart from obviously Kurt Zuma scoring off his back.
Yeah, we did. We did after the goal. It's what I said earlier, Ellie.
Yeah.
The horse had bolted. West Ham had already got their goal from a set piece, and
Yeah,
then after that, we won everything. In any other set piece that came in, whether it be free kick or corner, we got our heads or our bodies to it before they did. But they had
yeah,
already
true.
scored their goal. You see
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. They were lucky to get into it because we were on top of that game for most of that first half. And in the second half, I think they got into it a little bit more. The first 10 minutes, they were like very aggressive. The referee was pants. He was useless. I mean, that Maddison barge, where he got barged off the ball by Paqueta the first time, and then he got barged on the edge of the penalty area. He got barged again, and the referee doesn't give anything. He literally barged him off the ball, and it wasn't a fair barge. You know where you fair barge, where you come together, Jose, and you sort of hit each other. That was a deliberate barge. Yeah, so I was really angry with that. I was shouting at the TV. I'm lucky my TV survived.
But he did. I mean, obviously, Chan hasn't watched the game.
No.
But
No.
you've heard what you heard what I said. There was 3 tackles on Maddison that went and no card at all, and they were naughty challenges, and it was 3 different players.
I know.
And not one card was given.
And we picked up 4 yellows to their 1.
Yeah.
It's an embarrassment for the referee. What was he doing? You know, I don't like that referee. We've had him before and he's done similar things. Yeah, and I don't like all referees, to tell you the truth, but him in particular I don't like. When I saw him, I said to my daughter, "Oh no, not him again." She goes, "But you hate all referees, Mum."
Aye.
Yeah.
Let me just have a look. Where is it? Sorry.
It's all right. You've got to find a comment.
No, it's just to find something. Now my phone keeps buzzing, so I'm just having to find some stuff. Now I've invited a couple of other people on.
Nice one.
So I've invited a couple of other people on, so I might as well have a party.
Yeah, you might as well, innit?
Might as well have a party this morning.
Sitting at home doing nothing, right? I got off Mia's member show, which was brilliant, with Danny and Ben. So yeah, and I thought I have to join Jose and Chang.
So when I went into Mia's, obviously I went into Mia's and because I was out shopping, so I couldn't listen, and I saw that you were all on. You all had sunglasses. Yeah. You all had your glasses on. Your shades.
I know. I've got my sunglasses because I don't sleep right. I've got really heavy bags, and I don't want to scare the viewers. Plus, I don't want to put any makeup on. I can't be asked.
We've got Wally World. Right, I'm presuming you're a West Ham fan. If you are, mate, big up to you. Thank you for being here. It's nice to have you here because he's level-headed in all the comments he's making. So You know,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you'll see that we're not going to bash West Ham, and we're not going to, we're mightier than thou. It's nice to have supporters from other channels in our chats,
Mm.
not only mine, but in everybody else's. All YouTubers should welcome supporters, but as long as they behave. But then, by the same token, we behave in other people's channels as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, but it's good to see that we get supporters from other teams come in. So if I am right, Wally World, and you are a Tottenham West Ham fan, because I saw a couple of iron crosses there. Then big up to you. Big up to you. What have you got? So you've got Robbie. I've sent Robbie the link. He says, thought Son and Werner let us down yesterday. Stood there like statues. David Shear on the comment about Madison says that's been happening to him all season. Wally World is agreeing with you. He says that barge by Paquetá should have been a foul.
Yeah.
Johnny Bethnal Green says West Ham game showed we need a clinical striker badly. Werner looks lost in this system.
Yeah. He
David
just
Shear's
hasn't got
reminding
a
me that
job still, so.
Aussie rules umpires are called white maggots, Jose. Seek and you shall find. Look who we've got. We have got Robbie from Lily White
Hey,
Lane.
oh,
Good morning.
Robbie.
Good afternoon, Robbie.
Afternoon. How is everyone? Good to see you, Ellie, Chang, Jose, everyone in the chat.
Yeah, all good, mate. How are you? It's been a while.
Yeah, not bad, thanks. Not bad, thanks. Not the result we really wanted yesterday, but it weren't the result I was probably expecting. I didn't think we were going to win yesterday, to be honest with you. So at the end of the day, take the point, move on to Nottingham Forest. That game's massive now, I reckon.
Yeah, and they've just had they're coming off the back of a victory, aren't they?
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
say when you say it's massive, Robbie, what are you leaning towards? Why is it massive? Tell me, what are your thoughts of why it's massive?
Because I feel like you're looking at that Forest game in terms of confidence as well. If we don't beat them, then struggling to break down a low block, it's been a consistent thing recently for us. And I'm someone like, I don't mind if we get Europa League. I'd like to get Champions League, but if we get Europa League, I think there's benefits in terms of playing young players and the chance of winning it. But you can clearly see the players and with the comments that they're coming at to make after games, not necessarily Ange Postecoglou, but their reaction to games. They want Champions League football. So for me, you're looking at Aston Villa, whether we get the coefficiency or not. If they get a result tonight and they get one on the weekend against Brentford at home, we don't against Nottingham Forest, I think that could probably be over, to be honest with you guys. When you look at the 4 games we've got after against Newcastle, Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool away. So I think the Forest game is crucial for confidence. I came into this little 3-game run before that tough one and said I think we need a minimum of 7 or 9 points out of Luton, Forest, and West Ham. The one I expected us to drop points in was yesterday. So I think it's a big game for us, the players, their confidence, and hunting for top 4, really.
I think we've done well against those teams, though, Robbie, because we beat Newcastle, we beat Liverpool, we drew with Arsenal. So I don't, and we drew with Man City away. So if we repeat that, I'll be happy.
I would. But still, at the end of the day, those are still like draws. Obviously, we want wins, and these are tough games, and draws aren't the worst results in the world. But what I mean is, in my opinion, it's crucial to get points here. Because then if we're not going to be winning all of those games, and Villa have got Brentford at home and Luton at home and those sort of fixtures. But as you say, Ellie, when we played them earlier in the season against Arsenal, against Newcastle, I mean, we battered Newcastle. But I just think the two away games, Newcastle away, Liverpool away, especially Anfield, I think that's going to be very tough. And crucial end of the season, I think Man City and Arsenal might step up a bit more because of what they're going for.
Hopefully they'll go down to 9 men again. Yeah, that tickled Chang. Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, it depends on what you're looking for. For me, I don't know if you heard what I said earlier, Robbie, but for me, I'm looking for us to win every game from now to the end of the season. I keep saying and repeating, and I rinse and repeat this all the time. For me, people have been given their scripts. People are now auditioning for the big show next year, and that's to be in Tottenham Hotspur squad for next season. And the people that don't follow the script and don't audition between now and the end of the season won't be at the club next year. So for me, I just want to see us. I want to see us win every game. I want to see us play more. Every game that goes on, I want us to be able to view what we're going to be seeing going forward in the future. I want to see the style of play, and I want it to gel a lot more. Wherever we finish in the league, we finish. To me, I'm not interested in where we finish in the league. I want to see progression on the pitch, and I want to see us win every game. So for me, whether it's Champions League, whether it's UEFA, the Europa League, whether it's the Conference League, I'm not too bothered about all that. What I want to see is I want to see us win every single game. And with that, we have got the man, the legend, Kuva. Good afternoon, Kuva.
Afternoon, Coo.
Kuva.
How are you this afternoon, Kuva?
I'm fine. That's all the adoration I need. I'm off again. Cheers. Yeah, doing well here. I was a little bit reluctant to come on, to be honest, Jose, because I kind of said what I wanted to say earlier today. It's weird when you end up repeating yourself on streams, isn't it?
Rinse and repeat.
Where was you on earlier?
On Mia's.
When I went to Mia's, when I was shopping and I saw Mia and I put a like and comment in there, I don't think he was on there. There was 4 people on there, but I don't think he was one of them. It was Ben, Danny, Ellie, and Mia who I saw. I didn't notice he was on there when I looked at the show earlier. Sorry.
Perhaps I'm hallucinating. Perhaps it was another day I was on. I can't remember.
Yeah.
You were.
Well,
it all blurs into one.
Well, in that case, I haven't heard.
Can I just very quickly say to Mr. Kuva? Can I just very quickly say to Mr. Kuva, when he appeared earlier this morning on the Tottenham away show with Stelios, what you said there towards the end of how Timo Werner, how the assumption that Timo Werner's permanent signing, his eventual permanent signing is going to be seen as a step backwards and not really a step forward in the right direction with where the club's headed as a whole. That has got to be one of the better things I've heard the whole week, because how you justified the signing of new players with Big Ange, and how we are supposed to be challenging the top 3 or even anywhere between the top 4 or top 5. Signings like Timo Werner will only be seen as a stopgap measure, not really trying to get us to where we aim to be, the lofty heights that all us Spurs fans are wishing Daniel Levy, aspire to, just like us fans. And the follow-up from that comment, I believe it was, I believe you did mention something along those lines earlier as well, on Mia's Spurs Between the Lines members calling show. I did also send out a super chat to that effect earlier this morning on Tottenham Away, saying how your comments was more of a dressing down, if you remember that statement I made, of how your take on Timo Werner's loan signing. I would actually put it more towards Daniel Levy and maybe our financial accountants trying to balance the books, trying to get players in that can be sort of like a bit part role, not really sure starters, not exactly first 11 players, but more of off the bench, or maybe a replacement for one of our injured players. I would very much like to hear your take as well right now. If you could just elaborate just a bit more on how you feel this summer window should take place for us if we are really serious in making the most of our FFP status, and also how you feel we can bridge the gap between us and maybe the likes of Man City, Arsenal, and Liverpool.
Wow, that was a long question.
Wow.
Yeah. For me, I've said this many times, I consider that we need a squad of around 18, 19 players of all very good quality to compete and consistently produce the kind of football Ange wants to have. I think we need to be able to change up that. So when he does go to the bench, there's no drop in quality. We've got to have those players that you're not worried about coming on. You're not looking at a sort of Eric Dyer or Ben Davis coming on against like a Man City and thinking, oh God, are they going to be up to it? You're confident in it. I think Dragoshin's a move in the right direction. That sort of quality player. Big up, Ash. We get you up.
Did we wake you up, Ash?
I'm so sorry. I had a really important meeting that ran over, and there was just no time to text. I apologize
Have the
profusely.
clocks changed for you as well? Are you not 5.5 hours ahead anymore?
No, they're the same. They're the same. It's just that remember I told you I'd be 15 minutes over because of a meeting. That meeting went on for like an hour more. So
you've got guests, Ash. You can take over now because it's your show. If you've got guests. sorry, Kuba was just telling us about this.
Anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted. No, just finishing off. Saying I think this summer transfer window, I kind of temper it with a bit of realism as well. I don't think we're going to be signing the sort of mega superstars of the world. We're not going to be spending £100 million on players. I think we need that, like I said, that squad of 18, 19 players, and then fill the rest out with academy players. But I think we've only got about 7 of those 18 or 19 at the moment. I think there's question marks over a few others. So I think this window for me, it's kind of getting that a bit of quantity, but you've got to have a reasonable level of quality to go with it. So I'm looking at good players, good solid players, build that core 18, 19 that we need. And in the future, that's when you start adding the £100 million players to it. When you need to go that extra step from finishing third, second, you really want to go for first. That's when you bring in the superstars. Unfortunately, I have to say it's kind of like Arsenal have done over the last 5 years. Very much that's a plan worth following, because we are, let's face it, in similar sort of stature to them. The difference between the two clubs is they've had a lot more success than we've had. So I think doing what they were doing over the last 5 years and sticking with the manager, sticking with this philosophy and this new way of running things behind the scenes and enhancing the academy, looking at the young players to bring in to develop as they play. I think that's all a good move. Let's just get that base level up across the team, so we're not worried about a substitution. It's all good. I think if we do that, we're on the right track. And then it's a case of every single season, you just got to be improving one step at a time. Just keep improving. And if you plateau at any point, like we did under Pochettino, you shouldn't have a chairman that just pulls the plug and says, well, I'm not investing anymore. That's the point we push in the extra investment to get your team over the line. If we can do that, we're going to win things. I'm convinced of it. I think we've got the right manager. I like what we've started doing off the field. We're scrapping the wage cap on the academy players, so we can bring in some supremely talented players from abroad, as we've started doing. And I think overall that injection of quality into the youth system, it's going to rub off of the other players that are proper homegrown players. It's going to help raise their game as well. And I think we will see the fruits of that in about 5-6 years, really. It's not going to happen straight away next season. It will with some of the ones we've signed, but the ones that are coming through, local lads, it's going to take a while. It did at City. Even Phil Foden, his first, his breakthrough year, he only had about 40 minutes of game time in the Premier League. It's a slow process, but got to stay patient with it. So for me, answering Chang's great question is just temper the expectations and just look at improving things across the board. It's all about raising that level every year. It's a long process. People hate hearing the words rebuild or project, but that is just the simple fact. That's where we are. We are rebuilding. It is a new project under Ange. It doesn't matter if you don't like hearing it. That's the reality of it. So a little bit of patience. Look for the little signs of improvement. And then in the summer, just look for those quality signings coming in. And it don't have to be big money, do they? We look at Vicario, we look at Udogie, We look at Maddison, Van der Ven. None of those break the bank. Porro, a bit more expensive, but still value for money. So forget the £100 million stuff. Let's get in about 4 or 5 players, and we'll have had a good summer window again. Get rid of some of that absolute trash in the meantime, like Ndombele, and we're looking at a stronger position. Let's face it, you could have the 4 or 5 players coming in and cost the same amount of wages that he's on. That's the harsh reality of things. We've misspent badly in the past. Let's do it right again. Last summer was decent, but I think we can do better than that. And with the talk of the cash injection from Levy selling up some of his ownership in Spurs, if that's going to be used to pump straight into the team, we could be onto a good thing now. But it's Spurs, so I'm not going to get my hopes up too high, and the wheels can come off again. But nowadays, last season broke me, so I just don't care now. I'm just along for the ride. I'm full in Big Anne. She's the Messiah. We're winning everything next season. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't give a shit.
So for your 4-minute question, Chang, there's your answer.
I do kind of want to go off on what, and anyone can answer this, whoever wants to. Like Kuva mentioned a project. I see, sometimes maybe it's because of the reactionary nature of YouTube. I wonder whether we as Spurs fans or the Spurs management reacting to the fans has a stomach for a project. In the sense that, we lose 2-3 games, we lose 3-0 to Fulham, and suddenly, a lot of the fans are saying Ange out, this manager doesn't know what he's doing, he's naive. And so there are 2 sets of fans, one that don't believe that Ange is the right guy for the project, and then there's another set of fans who just don't want a project. They want to win something next season, and that possibly will not happen, just as Kuba mentioned. So do you think that as a community, both the Spurs fans and the management, do you think they have the stomach for a project? And anyone can answer this.
Can I answer that?
Yeah, go ahead, Ellie.
Right. I think with the project, right, it's the fans have got a little bit delusional about it because the way the club operated in the past, right? Because obviously under Poch we had the project, didn't we? And he was building something unique and fantastic. Everybody was on Spurs' side. We're saying what great football we were playing. We must be the unluckiest team as well not to have won anything in those Poch years. I mean, he got us to 4 finals, didn't he? And we lost all 4, right? So we need to have patience. I know that, because I can see what Angie's doing, and a lot of fans who didn't like Ange in the first place because he's not a name. Yeah, so they're gonna give him stick whatever he does. So I just feel Levy's the one that can help us more than anybody else can help us, because if he it's not just letting the purse strings go, it's letting the manager do what a manager wants to do and not interfering, right? So that he can build the project, right? Because when you see Levy come out and say, I don't want to make this all about Levy, but when he says we've got our Tottenham back, we haven't got our Tottenham back, because our Tottenham that I know won trophies. The Tottenham that he's developed has won 1 trophy in 24 years. So that's not getting our Tottenham back, is it? Right. So what I want is to really get our Tottenham back, like Bill Nicholson had us, and being the elite team of the league. And everybody's talking about Spurs, because that's what it was like back in the 60s. I mean, I was only young, but I remember my dad telling me how fantastic we are. And then I used to watch all the old reels. But going back to the project, I think Levy is the key to this. I really do. I think he's the one who can make or break us again, because he's broken us a lot of the time. So a lot of it goes towards the manager, and then invariably the manager gets sacked. And he's the one who's sacking all. We had 3 manager changes last year. Like I heard somebody said that's relegation. Relegated teams do that, not teams that are building. So we've got really. I'm really, really hoping that Levy's seen the light and, he pulls out the strings so that we can progress and actually get some trophies in our cabinet because it's got cobwebs in there at the moment. That's all I have to say on the matter anyway.
If I can just quickly comment on what Ellie said quickly, I think you're absolutely bang on. It's like you say, I haven't witnessed Spurs winning trophies like a majority of you guys have, right? When we won the Carabao Cup in 2007, or sorry, 2008, I was 1 year old. I don't remember it whatsoever. My dad's told me that I was in a Spurs shirt and he was chucking me about the room, but I don't remember it. But I've seen what Arsenal have done. I've seen my mates who are Arsenal fans when Arteta first went to their club, wanting him out, hounding him out. And before he was brought in, they were in a similar position, in a similar cycle of they got rid of Wenger, then Emery came and sacked Emery, and they looked like they were going to go in the same direction that we were. And I saw my mates who were Arsenal fans wanting Arteta out, shouting for him. Years later, after he's given time and backed, he's doing a good job there. He probably hasn't been as successful as he should have been, but he's been contending with big boys in the league for 2 seasons in a row. And I just think the last few years, we've just seen manager after manager be brought in, not properly backed, and then sacked, and the same cycle repeats itself. If it doesn't work out under Ange, it doesn't work out. But I just want to see a manager at Spurs, given time, backed with quality players. I don't mind us going in for different players because personally I hadn't really heard of Mickey or Vicario last summer and brought them in. But I want to see him back with at least, like Cooper said, a few quality players every summer, keep going in the right direction. And as I say, if he can't do it, if he's back with loads of money and given time, fair enough. But at least try and give the manager time, at least try and get behind him. Because I think last season we finished, 8th? We were crap at times. Absolutely crap. It's probably the lowest I've been as a Spurs fan. 6-1 against Newcastle. Poor loss after performance. And as I say, 3 managers sacked, like Ellie said. Compared to this season, a lot of the fan base are together in the stadium and creating a better atmosphere. We're playing a lot better football online. We're higher in the table and 3 points off what we got last season with 8 games left to go. I think it's huge progress for a first season. Of course, we all want to see Spurs win trophies, but I think we've got to give manager time to build a squad that can compete for them.
Yeah.
I've got to pull Ellie up on one thing though. Ellie said, you said there's nothing in our trophy cabinets but cobwebs. How dare you disrespect the Tiger Cup?
Yeah,
Or the Audi Cup.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You are so
exactly.
funny.
You can't just fly
I'll
over
go
to
down
that.
there and give it a shine now if you want.
Yeah, you can't. What are you talking about? Oh no, we're not that kind of show, is it?
I knew that was coming.
no, don't go there either.
Oh my God. I think even F got that one.
yeah.
I think it's a fair question though. As fans, there are sections that want instant success now. They just had enough, and you've got to have a trophy no matter what. I get that. I don't agree with at any cost. I've always got to see my team's always got to play attacking, stylish football, win with a flourish. I believe in that to my dying breath. I'll never sacrifice that. But I do get that other people are prepared to sacrifice that because there is the tribalism element to supporting a team, and you want to have that trophy to brag against your rivals. I get all that. At the end of the day, I think stomach for a project, it's almost irrelevant because we're forced to face that situation no matter what. It doesn't matter how much you complain about it, want instant success. If this will take time, we have to build it. It's not going to happen in one transfer window unless we go out and spend, 600-700 million or something silly, because we need a lot of players in, and you can't do that overnight. We built the mess over 5 years. We're probably going to have to fix it over 5 years, because by the time those 3 summer transfer windows are coming, the likes of Sonny might be looking at retirement by that time. That's a horrifying prospect right now, but come 3 years' time, that could be the reality. So we've we've got a long-term build going on here, whether we like it or not. Are people going to have the stomach for it? No, not everybody will. I think for me and people like me at the moment, we're so broken and dejected with the club that anything's good at this point, and I'm prepared to hang on for a bit longer. I'd like to see a league title before I die. I don't have any hope in it, but except for next season when we win the quad, of course. But then we're back into just being silly because it's fun. And talking of Angie's biggest fans, here's Alex.
Good afternoon, Alex. Hello, how are you?
Big up, guys.
Hi, Alex.
Big up to Josie's.
No,
Big up,
Alex,
big up.
before you say
Big up,
anything,
Alex. Big up.
I have to say, I have heard that you do a lovely jig with Ellie after like games or something like that. And so at some point, you have to take a video of that after the game and show it to us to prove that you can dance.
Yeah.
No. Ellie's the queen. She knows I appreciate her. She knows I appreciate her. You know what I mean? Big up Ash and big up Robbie as well. Big up Kuva, like always, mate. You know what I mean?
It's not Werner on the dance floor, it's Alex on the dance floor.
Yeah. Big up to you guys. Unfortunately, I can't be here that long because I've got other business to attend to. I have to say this at the moment, and I have to big up one guy. I can't believe I'm saying this. Adrian yesterday asked a question that I thought was absolute rubbish, to be honest with you. But he actually hit a nerve a little bit with me, and he said, "When's your breaking point?" And to be honest with you, I had to admit it. My breaking point was already done 4 years ago. That's why I'm the way I am at the moment. If you ask me, what is it under Harry Redknapp and Martin Jol, Pochettino, I would be defending this club to the day I die. I was defending them. I couldn't stand the fact that people were having to go at us all the time. I couldn't stand it. Now I'm broken so much now. I need them to convince me now. I actually, like I said, I feel sorry for Ange. It could have been anybody. It could have been Pochettino. It could have been the best manager in the world, and I still would be skeptical because I'm just so. My breaking point is gone. It's just absolutely gone. I'm done this season. Because what am I cheering for? You know what I mean? I'm not winning a trophy. Not that we're going to win a trophy, but it's just, for me, it's just always a build season. When I get people telling me, "Oh, we expected 8th this season." Yeah, I did. Yeah, cool. But it's still a build. And the fact is, the manager's even saying it. I don't even like the guy. You know what I mean? The thing that's even more winding me up, I've got to be honest, is that we need a second plan. Okay, you obviously didn't listen to your manager that you loved because he's told us he's going to stick to his plan. And I don't even like him. I know it's myself as Winnie. You know what I mean? So I'm just keeping on hearing people saying he needs a second plan. I'm like, why? He told us. He's been telling us how many times. I'm listening to him, and he's told you this. You know what I mean? Like, so why you keep on going on about it? You know what I mean? You're not going to tell that to Guardiola, aren't you? You're not telling that to Klopp, are you? You know what I mean? Like, if we sack him, which I expect it, because I'll go back on history, unfortunately, with this club, that's us being mugs.
That's it.
You know what I mean? I'm sorry. You know what I mean? And I sit there and think, and I'm hearing the noises already, the same noises. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, what did I tell you? Why did I say that? I've said what I said. But I listen, I'm not here to have a go at anybody. Everyone's allowed their opinion. I'm just here to tell it how it is. I'm not here to be your best friend. All I'm here to do is tell it how it is. And that's it. Because, like I said, my breaking point was gone a long time ago. I had to admit it. Big up to Adrian, because to be honest with you, mate, he summed it up perfectly for me. And that's it. Back to you, Ash. I'm done.
Thanks, Alex. And you know, Alex sort of points to a very real feeling that a lot of fans have, right? Where they're kind of falling out of love with the club. And Kuva mentioned this as well, right? Where he's just like, screw this, who cares about anything? And that's because of decisions that have been made in the last 4 or 5 years, actually the last 10, 15 years, or however long you want to sort of frame that in terms of after Poch, or do you want to frame it in terms of Enoch and and Levy, however you want to frame it, there are a lot of people who sort of fallen out of love with the club. So we all, like, what do you think it takes if you are at that place where you're just irritated with the club, you just don't care about it anymore, or you're done with all of this, like Alex sometimes is. How do you fall in love with the club again? What does the club have to do to get y'all on board? And anybody who feels this sentiment at any point can chip in.
I've always loved Spurs. That's my club. Yeah, I love them with a passion, right? And I don't love what the board have done. I love, because I'll always support Spurs the way I want to support Spurs, and I'll criticise them to blue in the face. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, I still love my club, because that's Tottenham. I was born in Tottenham as well, so I'm not saying that makes me a better fan, but I just feel like the affiliation. I played for Spurs ladies as well. I've got a bond, like when you have your firstborn child. Yeah, it's like that. I can only equate it to how much love I have for my children as I've got for my club. Right, so I'll always love them. I just don't agree with some of the things that they've done to take us to where we are now. They've taken us backwards when we should have been going forwards, because we were on the train, and then for some reason the train got disrupted, and we've fallen off the wagon, and we're trying to get back on that wagon. That's how I see it. And I can see Alex's point of view, that he's a broken man, but I hope for Alex's sake that this club reunite his mojo and get him to fall in. I'm not saying you've fallen out in love with the club, Alex, but you've become disillusioned. You've got to your breaking point.
It's there to stick. They've got to stick with the basic. The basic thing is, for me at the moment, I've said it how many times. You know what I mean? If you've watched me, you know what I say. They've just got to back. They've got to stick with this guy. They've got to stick with him. Just stick with him. Yeah. And when I mean stick with him, I don't care about the transfer window. Like, you stick with your man when he's going through bad spells. Even when the fans are saying Ange out. That's why I don't care about people saying Ange out, because then it's on the ball to say no. Do what Arsenal did. Do what Liverpool did. You know what I mean? It might go right next season. We don't know. But what I'm saying is, I've got to see something different. But if we have a bad run, which we might do, right? You stick with Postecoglou, and then I'll shut up. I'll shut up and say, you know what? Thank you. You show me you believe in the manager now. Now I can believe. If you don't believe in the manager and just like don't show it, why should I believe? Why should I believe? I've got to go on history now. I can't go on hope anymore. I'm not that kid anymore. Sorry to interrupt you, Ellie. I do apologise. The Queen.
No. What it is, right? We had these win now managers, but we don't have a win now board. Yeah, they're not going to give him they're not going to give Mourinho, they're not going to give Conte what they need to become winners, because they need that. They're not like a Pep Guardiola, who's crafted a whole club and gelled the whole club and made them play sexy football. Even my brother phoned me up the other day, because I've got 5 brothers alive still, but the one I speak to, my brother Boo, he said to me, people put Pep down, they say he's got money, he's made him successful, but it's not. It's his football philosophy. He comes from Barcelona. He knows how to play football, and every team that he's had, they say, oh, if he goes and manages Luton, he wouldn't do the same. Yes, he would, because he's a very talented coach, and he knows how to coach players, right? So I see a little bit of that in Ange, but he's still learning, because he's in the big job now, right? And he's still learning, and he's looking at who's going to cut the mustard and who's not. And you can see he's already started dropping Kulu, which is, I think that's a surefire sign that he doesn't want him in his team, because he's giving him chances. Now he's started to drop him, right? So, and he's bringing him on late rather than early when he's been subbed. So I think, and we do need to give him time. but it's not us. We can be impatient, and there's going to be fans that are going to put pressure on the board to sack him, like they did with Conte and but they did with Mourinho. They will, because there's fans that are fickle. They want win now, win, and they'll moan to the cows come home, right? But we have to have patience, because I can see something in Ange, and I'm not saying that just because I'm Greek. A lot of people say, "Oh, you like him because he's Greek." No, I like him because he's got a fantastic philosophy of football. He just needs to get the right players to play his system, like he said today. In his press conference, I need the joystick to direct my players to where I want them to be, because they lose discipline because they're not used to that system yet. They haven't really gelled in his system yet. When he gets cooking, he'll be cooking, because he'll have that technical skilled player that we're going to bring in. Hopefully, Levy gives him the money and he gets all the players that he needs.
If I can just cut in quickly, I think both of you, Alex and Ellie, I think you're both bang on. And I think, look, I've not been a Spurs fan as long as you guys, right? But I've seen the same cycle repeat itself over and over again, of managers coming in, not being back, then being sacked, managers coming in, not being back, and then being sacked again. We've got a manager now who's trying to rebuild the club, and I just don't want to see the same cycle repeat itself. And like you say, Ellie, it's not about whether the fans turn on the managers or not, because Arsenal fans turned on Arteta when he first went there. The board stuck with him, backed him, trusted their manager, and look at the position they're in now, contending for league titles. They may not win the league title this year, but they're contending for it. They have done for the last two, and they look like they will next season. Yeah. And like you say, Alex, it's Ange said before the season that he's going to stick to this way of playing. And for me, you see a lot of people saying he should change the system. Maybe he should tweak it here and there and substitutions and things. But in my opinion, it's not about Ange changing the system to suit the players. It's about bringing in the players to suit Ange's system. That's been one of the problems for me at the club over the last few years. We're bringing in players who don't suit the system for the manager. If you're going to bring in a manager who you know is going to play a high line attacking football, inverted wing backs, then bringing inverted wing backs, bringing players who can suit the manager's system. But I'm willing to give Ange time, because I've seen the same cycle repeat itself over and over again. I'm seeing a lot of positive signs under Postecoglou, and I don't want to see another manager turned on and sacked. I think we're seeing some good football in the eye this season, and whilst it may not be as good as it was at the beginning of the season, it's all about sort of seeing stuff and then progressing season after season. Like Cooper said earlier in the show, I really do believe if Ange is back that he can be successful and win stuff at this club. But guys, I'm going to have to shoot off. It's been a pleasure coming on. I'm going to have to go out, Robbie. But really enjoyed it.
Cheers, Robbie. Thanks a lot, Robbie. Take care, mate.
Thanks, Robbie.
Cheers, Robbie.
Right, can I? I'm going to ask
everyone, because everyone's subbing in for me. So
can I ask? I'm going to ask you guys a question, right? I'm going to ask the question, and my question is, I understand where you're all coming from, what you'll say. I'm going to take this one step further to the summer transfer window, right?
Yeah.
So, do you guys believe, from what you're seeing at the moment, because I've heard around the table, I've heard a lot of people say he needs the players to play his system. We've got players that don't play system at the moment. He's got to coach the players, stuff like that. Do you see any of our current squad now, not the usual suspects like the people that are out on loan, and maybe people diving on Højbjerg and Davies and people like that? Do you see any of the other players possibly being sold by Tottenham to make room to bring a player that does fit the system in?
Possibly.
Most definitely, yes, of course. Because at the end of the day, if a certain player doesn't suit the system, or if he's not contributing the way Big Ange wants him to contribute to the squad as a whole, I can't see these players sticking around, especially if they're not getting game time the same way maybe Højbjerg isn't getting as much game time as he likes. For me, right now, it's all about what Big Ange needs for the project, his project, to build the squad in his image, not the kind of, Levy signing, the way you've seen how Jet Spence has been a complete and total failure for us. I would say that whatever Big Ange fancies or what he requires to move on from beyond this season and the season that comes after this, if he still is in charge, it's all about getting the right balance. And that also means giving chances, giving opportunities to our youth players who he feels might make the grade someday when they come up from the under 18s and under 21s, as well as making room, say, for another new winger, a tried and proven winger, not just one for the future, but a real household name, should we say, that will just walk into the starting 11, not just our starting 11, but any other starting 11 in the Premier League. The best kind of wingers are those who would say walk straight into a Man City, a Liverpool, and Arsenal. I would love more than anything to have that kind of player who will walk into Manchester City or Arsenal or Liverpool starting 11, walk into our starting 11 and fill in for maybe Timo Werner or Brennan Johnson, a tried and tested, proven player for, and this is my caveat, for maybe say Ashley Phillips, if he's not the kind of a centre back that we need, or even say Alejo Valise, if he's not the kind of a forward that we hope he is going to be, if he's going to be just another Richarlison in making, then yes, get the players that Big Ange needs and get players that can make an impact here and now, not just for the future, but next season onwards, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, but what I was thinking, I'm thinking, guys, more along lines. Forget Hoiberg. I'm thinking more left field than that. I'm thinking, look at the starting 11 yesterday and the substitutions that came on. So let's talk about the 16 players that played yesterday. Can you see, apart from the obvious, people are going to say Hoiberg, can you see any others being moved on by Tottenham in order to accommodate to bring players that will fit the system? I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
So
Do you think Basuma might go? Richarlison, Bentancur, even,
Kulusevski.
Kulusevski. Is there any other players that are in the starting group at the moment that may be gone at the end of the season to bring players in? That's where I'm trying to go to. Do you any of you guys see that happening at the moment?
So
Yeah.
I'll tell you where I'm at with this. I think that ideally that's what should happen. Brutal cuts. Like if you want to rebuild a team, really rebuild a team, then you have to be brutal. There can't be any of this. Joe, let's get rid of the some of the deadwood, Sessignon and Jed Spence and that like, and bring in just replacements for them who are slightly better. And we did great business in the transfer window. The transfer window, like Chang said, has to improve your first 16. Those people, that basic squad, that core squad of players that plays in every game in and game out, those have to be improved, and that means brutal cuts. If Kulusevski is not cutting it in your system and you're dropping him, then don't waste his youth with us and don't waste our time with him. Just
Yeah.
get rid of him, find somebody who does work. I think Robbie said this about, like get players that suit Ange's system. If the current players, the current starting 11 is not every single 11 person in that level who suits that system, then that's not your current starting 11. That's your temporary starting 11. So I'm sorry. I would like to see brutal cuts. I would not like to see us just getting rid of the deadwood on our bench. Unfortunately, that's what I see happening, but I hope that's not the case.
Yeah.
Alex,
I'll
go on,
be
Alex.
much more ruthless at the moment. I think some of the players have already had their chance already. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like who?
I think
Like who, Alex?
Name
Go
some
on.
names.
I think Kulu's had his chance. I think I've got question marks on Madison as a captain. I've got question marks on Basuma. Højbjerg, I've already said that he's bang average, but I have respect to Ellie. But I've been telling
Don't
her
worry.
a long
I
time.
think he's
Um,
average as well. Don't
you
worry.
know, my thoughts on Emerson. The thing I don't like about this thing about the players that fit the system, I'm getting fed up of hearing, and no disrespect to you, Ash, by the way, because I hear what you're saying. You're not the only one saying it. I just want to hear players saying players making the system work for them. You know what I mean? And I'm just getting a bit tired of that. Well, they've had one game a week to make it work for them. Now, if you can't make it, in some games they've had was it 1 week after 2 weeks because
Yeah.
some teams been in the FA Cup or something like that. You know what I mean? So this is where I just think at the moment, I think we have to be ruthless. I'll get rid of Richarlison tomorrow if I could get rid of him tomorrow. I've got to be honest. Werner, I'm sorry, we're going to sign him, but like I said, I've heard the word backups before. Backups don't do any work. Were not no use to me. You know what I mean? We might as well just get Harry Winks back and Bergwijn back. You know what I mean? They were backups. You know what I mean? And we champion Emerson, but like I said, Wan Foyth back in the day was better than him, and he could play inverted midfield. And he went to Villarreal, and look what happened: won the Europa League. So what does that say to you? You know, Walter Peters. So like for me, it's just you might as well just get those backups back again, because I want people to compete. If a player like Maddison and Basuma are still playing and they're playing badly, you're not going to have a great team, as far as I'm concerned, because you need players to say, well, if you're not playing well, you're out of the team. Someone else comes in. They need to state their claim, and that's it. That's what happens in top teams, and that's it for me.
Yeah, Alex, right? They were backups. Yeah, you mentioned Harry Winks, backup, and he started the Champions League final, and he started against Man City in the League Cup final.
Well, that's the point. That's the point. When the backup, when someone else is, when the first teamer is injured. When the first team is injured or out for the season, that backup turns into the first team.
Because Wanyama got injured, didn't he? So
that's the point.
That's it, and he was
that's
our
the point.
backup.
So that's why I don't hear this backup anymore. You know what I mean?
I
Like I said, I had to apologise to Irish Hotspur about Dyer, Davis, Winks, and who else was there? Sanchez. During lockdown, me and him were arguing all day long, all the time. I had to apologise to him. Big up to him, by the way. Big up to Irish Hotspurs. Subscribe to him every single time. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's like I said every single time. You know what I mean? So, for me, backups don't do anything, and that's it for me, and that's it. I'm just ruthless now, you know. But I understand it's going to be a long-term thing. It's not that I don't understand that, but just for me at the moment, I can't base it on just this season. This is a build season. Next season will be difficult for us next season, because Man United, Newcastle, all of them are going to come back. Because if it's that easy for us to get back into top 4 this season, why do you think it's not going to be easy for other teams to do it next season? You know what I mean? Yeah. That's just my thoughts. So everybody else want to speak, and that's it.
I don't know whether
Alex. Yeah, Alex is spot on as usual, mate. When people actually take the time to listen carefully to what you say, you're usually right on the money. I think the question was about state of the squad at the moment. Who would we be prepared to sell? Yeah, wasn't that right?
Yeah. Well, what I was saying is that do you think that does the panel think that apart from the usual suspects, would there be other sacrificial players that don't, if you want, fit the system to bring players in that do? Do you see any of our, let's say the starting 16, the 16 players yesterday, do you see any of them maybe possibly leaving the club as well in the summer to make room for others?
Apart from Højbjerg.
As far as I'm concerned, the players I'd keep at the club: Vicario, Udogie, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Bentancur. I think Sarr's worth keeping, although he's not the complete player yet. He looks like he could become that. Yeah. Maddison, despite his critics, I still think is our most creative player. He's worth keeping. Son is our goal-scoring machine. There's no one even remotely close to him at the club. And there's a little bit of potential now with Brennan Johnson. Other than those, I think every single other player is utterly expendable. I'd happily, ruthlessly get rid of the lot of them, bring in another 5 players, and then fill out with academy players if need be.
So that means Kuba, that leaves you. Basuma's up, Kulu's up.
Oh, question mark over Basuma maybe as well. If Ange can somehow get that player out of him that started the season, it's a good player still. But it's looking less and less likely that's going to happen. So there's a big question mark over him at the moment.
So then that leaves Kulu, Richarlison.
Though, with one thing, I'd like, because everybody thinks Maddison is our most creative player, but he's not. Sonny is, because he's got 9 assists this season.
I'm looking at sort of dedicated sort of playmaker. Really,
I know what you mean. The playmaker, yes, but not the most effective in creating goal chances.
Yeah, goals and assists. It's Sonny, isn't it? He's our main man.
Sonny, yeah, he's our main man. And after him is Brennan Johnson. Would you believe?
Yeah, I would.
So Chris has sort of put like the put a little spoke in the wheels, saying I'd even go as far as to say Sunny, as much as I love him, starting afresh may mean going down that road. Do you all agree? Do you think we should sell Sunny this season,
No,
transfer
no,
season?
no.
If,
He,
if we get offered
He
200
brings
million,
goals
I'd
and
say yeah.
assists. Why would we sell him?
the only
Offers
question
enough.
I have with him is a captain. That's the only thing I've got captain. But as a player, I'll be deluded if I don't think he's a great player. He's got the swag. He's the arrogance. He's got everything there. For me, he summed it up perfectly. Son scores
Yeah.
his one-on-one. Werner doesn't. Summed
Yeah,
it up perfectly for me, as far as
yeah.
I'm concerned. I think there's question marks on him as a captain, but I'm questioning Madison as well on that as well because he's vice captain. You know what I mean? I think Vicario, and if I'm really honest, he's grown on me a lot this now, grown on me big time.
With
Bentancur's grown
Vicario.
on me.
Oh, Bentancur.
Bentancur is a
Yeah,
much more
yeah.
better
He's
captain at the
class,
moment.
man.
I've got to be honest. I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
I think he's got something about him.
He's
Yeah, I
got
agree
And
with
I
that.
called
I
him a
think that
Juventus
swagger.
reject. So what does that say to you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm glad you
I
came,
love
man.
Sunny, but Benton Core I think is more captain material, and I feel like he's got a calm head on his shoulders. But at the same time, it's not like he doesn't. You can't
Yeah.
see like it's just. I think there was a game in the middle when Sunny was away on duty where he was captain, right? You could just see like a mentality shift, just slightly,
Yeah.
because we are missing a lot of players, and the players were sort of putting in a shift without those players. I did feel like Benton Core is definitely captain material. But how did you all feel about his performance? I know I was late, so you probably discussed it. But
No, tell us your
no,
view on because we've already had a chat. I put you in the private
so
chat. Tell us your view on yesterday.
with Benton Core, I thought I tell you what, a lot of
As a
people
team,
were
but no, as a team performance. Start with the team performance. What did you think of
okay.
the
But
match?
with the team, I thought there was actually a lot of improvement in passing. There was small sort of triangles, etc. There was improvement. I could see it, but it doesn't mean anything when you're passing aimlessly. When you can't, like, the number of times the ball went into the box and there was the same sort of pass, and you could see that you're trying to repeat the same structure of passes and it's not working, and you're not even trying anything different. It was really frustrating to watch in terms of that final pass. There were two or three times when Sunny got a little bit of space where it could have worked, maybe, but that's just that's down to luck sometimes, and Sunny just being ready for it. I do think though that so we've always had this problem, right? The final without Kane, that final sort of ball in even Poch, right? When we used to be facing a low block, sometimes it used to be frustrating to watch because you're constantly sort of circling that area but never actually putting in that ball. And you're just like, shoot, god damn it, that sort of feeling. Uh, it's just one of those things that I have always associated with Spurs. uh, so in terms of the game itself, we have to worry about our corners. I cannot get over how bad we are at set pieces. When we got a bunch of set pieces as well, but we made nothing out of them. Look at the way West Ham treated their set piece. Every time they took a set piece, every time Ward Prowse kicked that ball into the box, it looked dangerous. Every single time, except once maybe.
It,
But when we took our set pieces, every time I was 100% sure we're not going to score anything out of it,
yeah.
because we just don't look as dangerous on set pieces. And it's not because we don't have people who are tall and can get behind them. Romero can do it. Van der Ven can do it. Dragushin was not playing, but he can do it. Sonny can't score with his head, but Richarlison can do it. So there are people in our team that can score headers, but we don't. Porro's just not going deep enough. He wasn't even crossing the first man in defense sometimes when he was crossing the ball in for a set piece. So we really
Yeah.
need to improve our set pieces. Um, so there's a lot of work to be done. I'm really hoping. Unfortunately, our set piece. I hope we get in a specialist set piece coach in the summer. Somebody who actually can make a difference. And
Yeah.
hopefully it'll work out.
Well, we had one called Giovanni Vio. Is it Giovanni Vio? Vio. Yeah, and he didn't get on with Ange apparently because we were discussing it on Mia's show, and Ben was giving us some inside information about it that they just didn't get on, and he sacked. Well, he just left. So, and then we've got Ryan Mason as our set piece coach, and it shows. See, West Ham, they practice their set pieces. You can see it. We just haven't got a clue how to defend the corner. Although we got a bit lucky because it was hitting our heads instead of their heads. And we were
Yeah.
clearing a lot of their set pieces and we were giving so many corners away. I panicked every time because they were putting a man on Vicario, Big Antonio, and then that Suchek, who's a big danger at set pieces. We just managed to get it clear, which I was happy, but it wasn't from prowess. It just hit our head. You know what I mean? They didn't put it in the right spot. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I mean Ryan Mason, he's doesn't have the best track record on aerial challenges, does he? So perhaps he shouldn't be the set piece coach.
You know, honestly, I think
I know what
Ryan
you mean.
Mason should ply his trade somewhere else. How about that?
Yes.
Learn his trade, come back. You know, I'm all for him getting some success somewhere else, somewhere maybe in the championship, maybe in
Yeah.
the league,
One
whatever.
of the teams that get relegated, Ash, she can go and manage them in the
Yeah, like
championship.
learn your trade, get
Yeah.
your get your medals, and then come back with, like, I don't think he deserves to be, he hasn't done enough to deserve to be on the coaching staff at Spurs. I'm sorry, he just doesn't have the
It
experience.
could just be a different role, couldn't it? I mean, he seems to be very popular with the club, so he could be just like a liaison officer or something like that. Clearly,
Yeah.
he's not. He doesn't seem like he's a coach, does he?
He's got his coaching badges. He's done them, but I don't know. Maybe he should be in charge of the youth.
There's a
'cause
lot
he
of
was in charge of
YouTubers
the
that-
youth team for a while, wasn't he?
There's a lot of YouTubers with coaching badges. It doesn't mean they're
Yeah.
going to be Tottenham's set piece coach, does it?
Very true. No, he hasn't got the credentials, has he? And he's been given that role because they like him at the club.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's affable. It's the same
Yeah.
reason Hitchens was responsible for transfers, because Levy liked him and the management could get behind him. Because he's affable. It doesn't really,
Yeah.
like, it's not the way to run your club. I feel like and should also be aware of the fact that if he encourages mediocrity anywhere within the system, it encourages mediocrity everywhere. So I do believe that he can get better people in.
Yeah, we need to be ruthless, not amicable. Yeah, all the people that are not going to take us to that promised land, get rid of them. And Ryan Mason's one of them. He's not. He's too nicey. You need look at Pep, right? He's on that touchline, and he's like schooling and scolding his players when they're not working hard for him, because he demands hard work, but he knows their talent will rise above, but they put in the hard graft at Man City, right? And we don't do that. We like set off at a pace and then we just lose it. Yeah, we've got to be consistent with our play.
And while we're at it, let's get rid of all those player comforts. They should have the comfortable suite if they win. If not, it's wooden benches and gruel for like team food.
Yeah. And give them gruel for lunch.
It's the Charles Dickens training program.
Yeah, exactly. I've said this a few weeks back. Ellie and Jose will certainly remember them.
Yeah.
But back in the 80s, the old Wimbledon crazy gang who won the FA Cup in 88. Their training routine.
Jean Pachenou.
Yeah, that's right. They used to go to the boot camp with the army. That was their training, pre-season training, and it showed. They had that grit, determination, and ability to roll their sleeves up and get on with it. I felt like Spurs ever since we built the new stadium, or even before that, we kind of had this relaxed attitude where everybody's too friendly with each other, and it doesn't matter so much. And I think, although he wasn't the greatest manager, I think Tim Sherwood touched on that, and he talked a lot of good points. Did Tim Sherwood? And he said, he felt like the team was everybody else's friend. Sometimes you got to you got to put that aside and turn nasty with each other and drag the performances out of each other. It shouldn't be all cozy and buddies all the time and settling for 1-alls. You've got to be determined. You've got to be fierce with each other. Drag these wins out of the teammates. So I think that's that kind of underlying culture we keep talking about as Spurs, isn't it? It's the whole Spursy thing. It's where it doesn't
It's a very
matter.
like namby-pamby sort of way to go about life.
Yeah.
You've got me reminiscing about that Wimbledon team now, Kubo. Like you had Laurie Sanchez, who looked like a henchman. You had little sniper Dennis Wise chewing at your feet and just hacking you down. And then you got Vinny Jones, who was like a maniac on the pitch. He'd take you out in 1 second, just like that. And they used to blare the music, didn't they? In the dressing
that's
room.
right.
They come with their big booster speakers.
Blast the opposition out, really unsettle them, and it worked.
Before you even start the match. And they won the FA Cup against Liverpool.
Yeah, they did.
They didn't beat any also-ran team. They beat Liverpool.
My cousin supports Wimbledon, so he
he remembers then.
Yeah, he does.
I've disrespected you in Chang, of course, because I was thinking, back in the 80s, probably wouldn't have got a lot of coverage around the world, but it was still the FA Cup, so of course it would have got coverage around the world.
Yeah.
No, it did get coverage. And Wimbledon fans don't forget.
Yeah, we did coverage of the FA Cup as well.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, it's like it's not like the coverage of you didn't have the league coverage like it is with the Premiership now. It was nobody did. Even we didn't have it.
Now, actually, cups get less coverage than they did back then, because back then all the sports used to come on the same channel or on one or two sports channels. But now you have to separately pay for one game on the FA Cup or whatever, and so people don't subscribe for the cup tournaments and just for the league, just so they can pay less money. So it's complicated. So people don't end up watching the cup sometimes. On that note, on the lovely imagery that Ellie left us with, I gotta say, we gotta end the view from Asia, which was not really the view from Asia because Asia was 1 hour later than everywhere else. But Kuva, where can we find you next?
I'm trying to work out if we're doing brewing bollocks later today. Bobby K's a bit poorly, so he might not make it. So hopefully at 3:30 we will be doing brewing bollocks on the coffee shop with Ben Kaufman and Bobby K and myself, and just talking a load of nonsense and non-football. And I'm so looking forward to that. I'll get bored about talking about the team sometimes. So nice to mix it up a bit. Other than that, Bobby K, if he's well enough again, we will be doing Kuva and the Kang on Thursday evening and actually talking football again, which is unusual for us, but we'll give it a go until people are sick of it. And then we'll have another Kuva and the Kang on Saturday, doing the Spot the Bull and all the silly games nonsense that people know and despise us for.
Everyone, make sure you check out all of these things. 3 Spurs Boys, also Coffee Company, depending on whether that happens or not. Chang, where will we find you next?
So currently I have nothing lined up for the rest of this week apart from maybe a watch along, which I think is overdue for me, seeing as how I missed out on the watch along from 16 hours earlier, the West Ham away game. So I will be sure to be part of the watch along this Sunday for the home game against Nottingham Forest. Then the other thing I have on my schedule would be a Monday noon show with Miss Kate and Mr. James over on Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. So these are the 2 upcoming shows that I have in the next 7 days.
Yeah.
I always love the formality. Miss Kate, Mr. James. It's fun.
Miss Ash, nobody else calls me Miss Ash except Chang. It's wonderful. So everyone, make sure you go to Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. Also, after the show, make sure you go to Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs,
Yeah,
because she's her show has started as well.
yeah.
So we're trying to get one
She's
now.
currently gone live because we had the mix up this morning and I jumped on. We've started so late that we've now gone into the time that Kate goes on. So I will ask everyone to move from here. Go and say hello to Kate. Give her a like. If you haven't subscribed to her already, subscribe to her and tell her that.
Say El Tel Raid.
Yeah, Eltel Raid. Ash says we're sorry.
Ash says we're sorry.
Yeah.
And Jose, on your own channel, if
Uh,
I'm
talk,
asking you if
talk,
you
talk and ball. I'll be on Talk and Ball this afternoon at 4 o'clock with Colin. Today's what, Wednesday, and then tomorrow it'll be Colin again at 4 o'clock on Talk and Ball. I'm doing my mop up show tomorrow evening, and then on Friday morning, if Ash is not busy, there'll be a ladies takeover show with Ash and Ellie
yeah,
at
as long
11
as I get
o'clock.
the time right. I have to change my clocks. That doesn't exist in Asia, but we will change the clocks anyway. But yeah, so that brings us to the end of this show. We will see you next. I will see you next for Ladies Takeover. Come on, you Spurs.
Please go over to Kate's Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on, you Spurs.
Yes.
I will apologise to Kate for you, Ash. I'll say it word for word. Trust me.
Yeah, I don't trust you at all, but hopefully it'll work out anyway. As usual, we see you off with the James Madison song. So, see ya. Bye bye, everyone.
My team has got James Madison. James Madison is what we need. Whoa, thank God we got James Madison. This kid plays ball like you would never believe. Whoa.